Who's going to stay undefeated the longest, boys? 2025 is not the year for the undefeated. We had so many fighters lose their zero in 2025. Peyton Talbot lost his zero. Carlos Prates, Umar Nurmagomedov, Kobe Thickness, Bo Nickel, Shara Bullet. I had a list. I literally made a list. I made a list. It's a little ridiculous. So Tatiana Suarez, right? Yeah, Tatiana Suarez. I made a list. It's ridiculous. So these are the last people that are notably undefeated. You know, we have Mosvar Evloev, Lerone Murphy, Michael Morales, Zakanagiov. I've never heard of, bro. I've seen him fight like maybe once or twice. I've never heard of him. Shavkat Rakhmonov, Hamzat Chimaev, and Ilia Tuporia. We're going to get into it. Who I think is going to stay undefeated the longest out of all these dudes. We're going to start with Hamzat Chimaev. Hamzat Chimaev, he's the easiest to get out of here. He's the easiest to just check off the list, okay? He's fighting Dricus du Plessis in August. That's it. August is the cutoff date for Hamzat. He's not winning that fight. Let's be real. Hamzat's gas tank is only good for round one. If DDP can survive and scramble all of round one, he's going to be fine. There's going to be zero issues. He's going to gas out as soon as round two begins. When they go to touch gloves during round two, Hamzat's going to have his mouth open, breathing out of the mouth. He's going to be gassed. That's it. Just don't let Hamzat take your back. Don't let Hamzat take your back and you're all good. Hamzat, 0% chance of winning. I don't want to hear it. Don't even comment. Moving on. We're going to move on to Rakhmonov. Rakhmonov is 19-0 in the welterweight division. He was supposed to fight Belal Muhammad. He pulled out due to injury. And since he pulled out due to injury, JDM became the champion. JDM whooped Belal's ass. And I think Rakhmonov dodged a bullet. Belal would have done Rakhmonov in. He would have. Let's be real. Rakhmonov, you looked extremely mid during that Ian Gary fight. It was not a sight to behold. You were not the monster Rakhmonov. And your performance before that when you went out and fought Stephen Wonderboy Thompson was a little subpar too. And every single time that you go out and perform and it's like subpar, you want to come out on Instagram and say, oh, well, I had a broken leg. I had a broken foot. Oh, my hand felt a little weird. There's always excuses coming from the Shavkat Rakhmonov camp. Now, since Belal lost, and loss is kind of an understatement, and JDM's a little busy right now with Islam, the #1 pound-for-pound fighter, moving up. He's not the #1 pound-for-pound fighter. #1 pound-for-pound fighter is obviously Merab Dvalishvili, but we'll get into that at a later time. That's another video, okay? But since JDM is obviously, busy fighting Islam Makhachev, Belal Muhammad's open. Shavkat, you're supposed to be returning, I believe you said, in October. September, October is what your manager said, if I can remember correctly. That should be the amount of time Belal's black eye should heal up. And he should get back in there. I think Belal beats the brakes off of you. Let's be real. And honestly, Sean Brady is the scariest dude in the welterweight division. Go rewatch that Leon Edwards fight. That was a mauling. That was a mauling. That didn't look like two pro fighters dueling it out. That looked like one pro fighter versus a dude at a bar who kind of just said something to him. It didn't look nice. Shavkat, your days are numbered too, bro. Your days are extremely numbered. Whoever you fight next, as long as it's not Leon Edwards or Kamaru Usman, I think it's chops for you. Even if they give Ian Gary the rematch, but I don't think so. We're gonna get to Ian Gary's next opponent in a second, okay? My boy Ian Gary, he's going to be fighting Michael Morales. We're going to get to Michael Morales in a second. So, moving on, we're saving Tuporia for, second to last. Okay, Tuporia, he's a hot commodity around here. He gets the views. So, you got to stick around to hear what I have to think about Tuporia and how long he's going to stay undefeated for. Okay, boys? All right? So, moving on. Mosvar Evloev, right? He's in the 145-pound division. Volk just reclaimed the championship down there. And if we're being real, he lost his last fight to Aljamain Sterling. That last fight, he just got lucky. Oh, wow. And Ian Gary versus Shavkat was on there. He lost that fight against Aljamain Sterling. Don't look at the strikes and say, E-Rock, what are you talking about? The real Squabble watchers know what I'm talking about. If you rewatch the fight, you're going to say, wow, Aljamain Sterling just completely outperformed you, like, physically and athletically, and he just outperformed you, period. Aljamain Sterling beat you, bro. You shouldn't even be on this graphic of undefeated fighters. But since you are, your next fight is obviously going to be for the belt. There's no way they do Yair Rodriguez versus Volk 2, right? There's absolutely no way. They're just going to give Mosvar what he was promised, you know, like, come on, the dude is 19-0, right? Like, the dude is 19-0. Let's get him out of here. Let's get him out of here. Volk does him in, by the way. Mosvar is like Umar. He just wants to shoot and take you down. Volk has no neck. You cannot choke Volkanovski out. I don't think you cannot choke Volkanovski out, Mr. Evloev. You're gonna have a very rough night. Go rewatch that Brian Ortega fight. You know, that Brian Ortega fight showed exactly you cannot submit Volk. If Islam cannot submit Volk, you cannot submit Volk. Easy title defense for Volky. Easy title defense for Volk. So, we have already eliminated Chimaev, Rakhmonov, and Mosvar Evloev. We're going to move on to Lerone Murphy. Lerone Murphy. This is a tough one for me. You are in a stacked division, featherweight. You are in a stacked division, right? And there are a lot of fights to be made here. I really want to see you against Arnold Allen, if I'm being real. That's a little striker's delight. I want to see Arnold Allen versus Lerone Murphy. I'm an Arnold Allen fan, so I think Arnold Allen would personally do you in. I really do. But there's bigger stars in your division than you, even though you're undefeated and you're a prospect. Gene Silva, I don't like him, but he's a bigger star than you, Lerone Murphy. They might match you guys up, but word is that, damn, I forgot who they're supposed to match bro up with. Damn, I don't remember. But I wanted to see Gene Silva versus Josh Emmett. I saw a rumor today about Gene Silva fighting somebody, but it's not coming. It's not coming to the top of my brain. But Gene Silva versus Lerone Murphy, that could be good for Lerone Murphy. Lerone Murphy fights like Leon Edwards style, but like, you know, actually fights and doesn't just like stand there and get his ass whooped. Lerone Murphy knows how to fight off the back foot. He's going to stay on his back foot, back pedal, while Gene Silva pushes forward like a maniac, you know. So, hey, Lerone Murphy, that might be a favorable matchup for you. You might want to, like, kind of push for that. You might want to push for that. He is a few spots behind you, but that would get you a lot of fanfare and push, you know. But Arnold Allen, I think, does you in this division. Yair, that's a little iffy. Diego Lopez is a little iffy, and they have to fix these rankings. Ilya's not up here. Max isn't in here anymore. You know, I need to see these things get pushed up. Lerone Murphy could be the guy to keep his. Oh, we're gonna return back to Lerone Murphy, but this dude Mirzakov, it's a joke that he's undefeated. He's in light heavyweight. He's ranked 12. Zhang Minyang is behind him. Nikita Krylov is in here. You know, Dominic Reyes, Khalil Roundtree Jr., Alexander Rodchek, Jamal Hill, like Yuri. There's so many murderers in light heavyweight. Whoever you get next, as long as they're above you, my boy Azmat Murkanadinov, however you say your name, it's over. It's over. Your undefeated streak is going to come to an end. It's going to be violent and vicious. You know, it's not going to go well in the heavier divisions. There's people a lot more skilled than you, you know, and bigger than you. Type shit. He is a beast though. Taking nothing from him. He is a beast, but he's not going to stay undefeated for very long. Okay, so we're down to Lerone Murphy, Michael Morales, and Ilia Tuporia. Let's circle back on Lerone Murphy. So, Lerone Murphy. Listen, you do have a lot of favorable matchups in here, but I don't think your next fight you're going to lose. I think you're probably going to win your fights, right? But I don't think I don't think you are going to be undefeated as long as Ilia Tuporia. Now, Ilia Tuporia has a huge challenge in front of him when it comes to him fighting Charles Oliveira. Now, he's fighting Charles Oliveira. If you didn't know, if you're living under a rock or living in a cave, whatever's going on with you, Charles Oliveira and Ilia Tuporia are fighting for the vacant belt. Islam Makhachev moved up. I don't think I need to explain all that to you guys, right? But that's a huge issue. Charles is obviously bigger than him. Charles is great on the ground. Charles does get dropped a lot in his fights. Ilia touches you, you get dropped, that's it. You're not getting really back up. And the betting line is minus 350 for Ilia. So it's very, I don't really see a road where Charles kind of gets the victory in. Charles is kind of a quitter, once he feels the power of Ilia's body shots, he's just kind of going to crumble, in my personal opinion. But it could happen. 5%. I'm going to give it 5%. But I give Ilia that. Now, I do think Ilia beats Islam. Do I think they're going to fight? No. Ilia's going to stay at 170. Islam's going to stay at 170. I don't think Ilia moves up to 170. Not even close. Not even close. Now, the number one contender after Charles would be Armand. Hopefully, if he gets a fight. If it's not Armand, it's going to end up being Paddy. Just for storyline reasons, and it's going to really hurt my heart if I see Ilia Tuporia lose to Paddy Pimblett. But that's the real reality in 2025. It is. Paddy Pimblett nuked Michael Chandler. It wasn't even close. It was kind of a little ridiculous, if we're being real. It was. But 155 is full of killers, full of murderers. Ilia's a little small for the division, but he has power. He has plot armor, okay? He can do the unthinkable. Can be 3-weight division champion. If he puts his mind to it. He really could. But I think Michael Morales is going to stay undefeated the longest. I really do. Now, Michael Morales. Where are you, Michael? Michael Morales is ranked 8. I think he wins against Joaquin Buckley. After he fought Gilbert Burns and knocked Gilbert Burns out in the first round, listen, that's not some big whoop-de-doo, Hey, he knocked Gilbert Burns out in the first round. He called out Ian Machado Gary. I think he beats Ian Gary. Obviously, he beats Kamaru, and obviously, he beats Leon. Everybody beats Leon. Shavkat he beats. Just hope and pray that Michael Morales does not get matched up with Sean Brady. Sean Brady is the future champion of welterweight. Give me Sean Brady versus Islam. That's kind of a way better fight than JDM versus Islam. It's a grappler's delight. But Islam wants to act like he's a striker, so JDM's going to do him in. I'm not worried. Islam's getting the Volk treatment very soon. He's going to move up, get knocked out. Move back down, get knocked out again, and then that's just, he's not going to know what to do. And then Ilia's going to move up and get 170 champion, be triple champion, right off into the sunset, and we're never going to see bro ever again. Okay, that's how things are going to go. But honestly, if we're putting it down to Tuporia, Lerone Murphy, and Michael Morales, I'm either going to give it to Michael Morales or Ilia Tuporia. Now, if there is a chance that Sean Brady gets matched up with Michael Morales, and I think that's it. If that's the word, I think that's it. So it's either Tuporia or Michael Morales. I think I'm going to have to stick with Tuporia, boys. 155 is a little ridiculous. I want to see him versus Justin Gaethje. I think he beats Justin Gaethje. Just remember, Ilia Tuporia has great jiu-jitsu. He has great jiu-jitsu. He does. But there's also a chance that he gets nuked by Paddy Pimblett. There is. That's a real timeline that could be in our future. Please no. Please no. We could have the short guy battle. We can have Fiziev versus Ilia Tuporia. I'm very surprised nobody's even thought of that. Ilia Tuporia versus Rafael Fiziev sounds absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Anyways, boys, I saw this graphic. It really had me thinking. But I'm going to go with Ilia Tuporia. Let's see. Hey, we can revisit this. I don't know why. I just realized that my shirt was a little to the side. whatever. We could revisit this. We could see how right or how wrong I am. We'll get into it. Anyways, boys, I'm out of here. So.